Well, good morning, folks, and welcome back to Elmendorf Acres. Well, big plans for today. We are heading up into southern Vermont to pick up our Wolfe Ridge conveyor. It's a couple minutes after 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm getting ready to head down to my buddy Andrew's shop, and we're gonna take, I believe, his truck and trailer from there and head up and pick up this conveyor. We're gonna trailer it back. That way we don't have any unforeseen issues. Wolfe Ridge says you can definitely drive with them, but sometimes it's nice to just be able to pull things you are familiar with. So we're going to be pulling this on a trailer, and we're going to shoot different videos during the day as we get up there and as we pick things up. So be sure to stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of this video. Again, a big shout out to Chris Wolfe and Ben, Wolfgang, all you guys at the Boonville show. We had a blast spending time with you and visiting with you. And now we're looking forward to going up into Vermont here and meeting with your dealer, who is Northeast Wood Splitter. So we're going to go up and see Jesse and his son at Northeast Wood Splitter and pick up our Wolfe Ridge conveyor. Hey folks, we are up at New England Wood Splitter, and that is our semi-local Wolfe Ridge dealer. They're about 3 hours or 3.5 hours from us, and they are here in Vermont. So we're here picking up our conveyor. I'll give you a quick tour of the yard here. And any of you folks that are interested, I will put the dealer's name and phone number in the description of the video. So you can see they have 3 conveyors here, blue one and 2 gray ones. The gray one here is coming home with us today. And they also have, looks like a few skid mounted units available for the front of your skid steer. And then they've got this one sold or not? Red one?
That red one, we had a guy that was interested in it. We haven't heard back from him in a hot minute.
So we've got the red 28-ton high output here. That one is available. So we'll put the name and phone number in the description of the video. This one's your personal one, right?
Yeah, that's ours.
I figured that was too.
Yeah, the blue one is too, yep. This one is actually yours.
Okay.
Check the serial number and everything on it.
Nice. And I've got the gray splitter, so that all matches, you know.
We got a guy who got an Arctic Cat Green SHO, and then he got an Arctic Cat Green 24 foot conveyor. It was hilarious.
Hey, you know,
I like it.
I get it. So we're getting ready to get this conveyor loaded up. He gave us a Wolfe Ridge hat. Wolfe Ridge hat comes with every splitter or conveyor purchase. So we got that, and we got a couple t-shirts as well. I think it'll work well for us.
And I know it's not, but it does look short.
Well, we made it back to Kingston and into Andrew's shop. We got the conveyor offloaded off his trailer, and now I am pulling it home. So it tows pretty well. I figured I'd give an update as I'm driving here. It's got 14-inch tires on it, so they're not real small, but they're also not the 16 or 15-inch tires that we're used to with either our mow trailers or our dump trailers. But all in all, it tows pretty well. It sways a little bit once you're up in that 45 range, and some of that is we are all on back roads at this point, so it's not perfectly smooth. I know when I talked with Chris Wolfe about it, he said that guys show up there and tow them 3 or 4 hours away routinely. So I guess they don't have a problem as far as towing long range. We just felt it would be easier, especially with highway traffic, to load it on the trailer and trailer it to the shop and then tow it from there. So it just seemed a little safer for us, at least. But that's the update. We are back in town, basically 15 minutes from the house, and gonna stop at the house, have some lunch, and get this thing set up in the yard over the next couple days. Talked with Jesse on the phone up at Northeast Wood Splitter when we lined this whole thing up. They were great to deal with, and I actually dealt with his son today, and I do truly apologize. I don't remember your name, so I'm not ignoring you. I just honestly forget because I was up early this morning, and yeah, I'm bad with names. But that's the quick update right now, towing this thing home, and cannot wait to put it to the test. So stay tuned to the video to see more. So I imagine it made kind of a funny video because as soon as I set that pallet down, I actually, with the front tire of the tractor, ran over a yellow jacket's nest. So that's why you saw me backing up quick and then bailing out the other side of the tractor, because they just started hammering me. Fortunately, I'm not allergic, which is great. But I'll bring you around over here and maybe I can get close enough to actually see this nest. They're not super active today because it's been kind of wet and rainy, but definitely a little upset when I actually ran over their nest, and there's quite a few of them still buzzing around. Right there at that little green spot right there. Let's see if we can get a little zoom here. So you can see some of our friends buzzing around there. I'm a little out of breath because I ran. I did end up getting nailed. They are really upset. They had a pretty good sized nest in there. Anyway, that was why I bailed off the tractor. So, always exciting, right? This is kind of a view of our wood yard right now. It's not very fancy yet. We've got some log piles off on this side. And the reason we did that is because I wanted to be able to back the truck underneath the conveyor here, or the dump trailer under the conveyor, and I wanted the log lift on the same side as our log piles. So that was kind of why we situated things this way. We're going to give these bees a wide berth here. So it's never a dull moment in the woods. Always something going on. Anyway, we're going to let them sit for a little while and hopefully calm down. All right, folks, so here's kind of the wide angle view of what's going to be our wood processing area. We've got our Wolfe Ridge FC24 conveyor that we just brought home earlier today. So I've been up since about 2:30 this morning and in the truck since 4 a.m. Drove all the way to Vermont and met with the New England wood splitter folks, picked this up and brought it back, got it set up here in the yard. And then over on this side is our Wolfe Ridge 28 Pro C wood splitter. Now we've got the 4-way wedge and the 6-way wedge for that. We also have a 12-way wedge. We're hoping that the conveyor makes a really, really big difference in productivity, because to really run this thing to even partially its capability, you need 2, if not 3 people. So we're hoping that with the conveyor, it will eliminate the need for that person. So one of the things you can do when you're buying machinery is essentially buy another hand or another set of hands. So by updating to this particular splitter, we did away with the need for the old style vertical horizontal splitter that we were using in the past. Now by doing that, we cut down our production time. It also did something that I've been working on a lot, which is trying to buy machinery that helps save my body. Because if any of you have been watching the 8 to 38 series, you'll know that it's basically a story of my life from 8 years old to 38, which I am this year. So I'm not getting any younger, and I'm trying to stay in the best of shape as I can, but I don't want to abuse my body. And sometimes my elbow bothers me a little bit, especially when I'm picking wood and throwing it. So if I don't have to throw that piece of firewood by buying this firewood conveyor to drop in the back of the truck, it really, really saves my body a lot, right? It potentially saves elbow surgery, or at least it pushes it out further. So that's what we can do when we're buying a machinery, is we can actually not only buy that second set of hands, which is what this conveyor is, and the other set of hands really is what this wood splitter is. So I've replaced 2 people with 2 machines. And we can't always do that. We don't want to necessarily use that as the business model, which is replacing people, right? That's not really what we want to do. But we want to buy machinery and invest in machinery that's going to make us more efficient and help protect our bodies. So 2 really important things. Anyway, back to the splitter. We did a lot of research on this splitter last year. We went to Boonville. We looked at all the splitters that were out there, and we decided on the Wolfe Ridge. Now, I definitely don't want to say I settled on, because that's not the right word. We definitely decided on it. I got to look at all the splitters. I got to pick the one that I thought would fit our needs the best, and the Wolfe Ridge definitely did that. I like their manufacturing style. I like that it's clean and neat and organized. And there's a few critiques I have on it, absolutely. there are with everything. There's, you know, issues with every brand out there. There's always something that you as a consumer find that maybe you would like it changed a little bit. So kind of going to run through a review on our Wolfe Ridge Splitter, and then we're going to fire up this conveyor for the first time ever here. I'm going to back my dump truck under it. We're going to run some rounds through, and we're going to see just how well everything works. I'm hoping it does. We're going to find out kind of as we go. But let's come in a little closer and take a good look at this splitter. So this is our Wolfe Ridge 28 Pro C splitter. Now, this one is upgraded from the normal 28C. We went with a larger cylinder. They call it their Magnum big bore option. We also have the oil cooler. You can see I've been using it a little bit already. It's pretty filthy right now because we're just running through trying to get some wood done. This one also had the electric start. So just a couple upgrades that we thought were really, really nice to have. It also has the auto cycle. So when you come over here and you're running this, when we're running this, you'll see me pull both of these forward. Now this is the auto retract right here. This is your, so this is your forward, and that's your reverse. But when you do both of these, it'll pull this cylinder all the way out, full stroke. It'll hit that and auto retract. So it's called an auto cycle valve, something that I absolutely love on this splitter because it frees up your hands for that couple seconds every single cycle. And that really makes a big difference. So that's what we got on this. Now I'll take you around this side. This is, all right, right here. This is our cooling fan. This is the back side of it. There's a thermometer in there, a thermostat in there. It kicks on, and once it gets, I believe, 100 degrees. And one of the things that's kind of cool here is there is actually a thermometer right in the oil itself. So you can monitor your oil temperature along with whether you need to add any fluid or not, because it's got the full cold mark, which is great. Now that mark is full when the log lift cylinder is down. So it's showing that it's a little bit low right now. That's because the log lift cylinder is all the way up. So just something important to note. Wolfe Ridge does a Honda engine. Something I'm really, really impressed with is Wolfe Ridge uses the Honda engines. They've got it on the splitter. They've got it on the conveyor that we just bought. So this is the opposite side view of our splitter here. And we'll look at these two levers here. I'm not running it right now because it is just a little loud. So this one right here, you can see they actually canted it off here a little bit. It's got a bend in it. And this particular one runs your log lift up and down. And then the one in the back here, because you operate it from the other side, so the one actually on the operator's side from the operator table is your wedge up and down. So this also has a hydraulically adjustable wedge. So this wedge down here, we can run that wedge all the way to the top of that beam and all the way down. Now right now I've got the 4-way on. We were splitting some big old pieces and I was quartering them up. So the 4-way worked at best for that for us. The other thing that we have on the end of ours is these bars, the table extension. And it does two things. It allows me to have a little bit more room between the splitter and the conveyor, which is nice. But the other thing that it does is you see all these little wood chips here. Those, some of them fall through these little cuts in the table, but a whole bunch more fall through these bars here before it gets into our firewood conveyor. So that's a really nice option to have. So I've got this tongue slid all the way in right now. You can see that right there. That tongue extends out for when you can move it. The other thing you can do is you can take the tongue and put it on the other side. So let's say that we're backing it in here where we are going to be splitting. I can actually put the tongue behind the engine and move it that way. So that's a really nice option as well. All really depends on exactly how you want to run this thing. Another thing that they have is just a very simple foot. It's a 90-degree foot that comes out and it sets here on the ground, and it's a simple hitch pin that holds it in. And you just pull that out and set it off to the side. When you're gonna tow, you actually pull it out, turn it 90 degrees, and it stays horizontal. But we've got a jack over here on the front, and what you do is you put this foot down in the back, you jack the front up, And when the jack and the foot are touching, you take just a touch of weight off those wheels and it becomes a very, very stable machine. Now, one of the things I love about Wolfe Ridge is their clean lines and how they really try to, I think, do a good job with how they manufacture things. So that being said, let's look at these hydraulic lines here. These hydraulic lines have actual holders for them, keepers for them. You can see that right here. They're out of the way, they're nice and neat. So again, one of the reasons we went with the Wolfe Ridge is just the detail, the attention to detail in the manufacturing. That was part of our original decision to go with them. Now, you might notice that this here is bent down. That is not an actual Wolfe Ridge design. What happened, we were running this one day and somebody wasn't paying attention. I won't say who, but probably me. Anyway, we had a log kick here, and by the time we caught it, it was too fast. I actually pulled this down and pushed it down. It cracked the box, the tube steel a little bit, and I'll show you that. That's my one critique that I have here, is if you look here, we've got a little crack. That can be fixed. I just haven't done it yet. I got to take it down to the shop, heat it up, bend it back, and weld it, or have a buddy of mine do that. But that's my one critique, was that was a little bit of a weak design. I looked at their new machines. They did correct that in the new models, which I was happy to see. Another thing that's kind of neat about the Wolfe Ridge Splitter is you got these little pieces right here, and mine are black. These are basically a hard poly, and it's kind of a wear item, so you don't have steel on this rail, and it helps keep this ram centered. So what they've done is they've actually updated these poly ones to brass ones. Now, these are really, really easy to swap out. Probably 20 minutes or half hour on a rain day. You pop out 4 or 5 bolts. It's already pre-drilled. Put them back in, no problem, and it's done. They say these were supposed to get like 100 hours out of them, something like that. I think it'll go more than that. Part of it depends on just how rough you are with your splitter. All right, so that's some of my thoughts on the Wolfe Ridge Splitter that we have. I know we've talked about it for about a year. We bought it a year ago in Boonville, and I'm just now finally getting around to doing a review on it. But a special shout out to Ben, who helped me pick this splitter out last year. He was at Boonville, and he went through everything with me, showed me exactly what he thought would be a good match for us, and it really, really was. He did a great job helping us decide which machine to go with. So that is our Wolfe Ridge Pro 28C splitter. Now, if you go see our friends up in Vermont, which is where we were today picking up this conveyor, they actually have, I believe it's a 35 super high output there right now, and they have more splitters coming in a couple weeks. So you give them a call. Here's their contact info is right here. Let's see, New England wood splitter, and that phone number is right there. They're in Dummerson, Vermont. So special hi to Jesse and his son. They took care of us today with this Firewood conveyor. So I'm not going to do much of a review on the Firewood conveyor right now because I haven't really run it yet. I've got it all set up. It took us a few hours to get everything set up today. If you have the option to have 2 people help you set everything up, definitely nice to have a hand, because this conveyor is balanced really, really nice, but it's nice to have 2 people just to help set it up. And the same with the splitter. The splitter is balanced, you know, maybe 25 or 30 pounds is all you're lifting, but it's really heavy to roll it around. And you can see here, we're kind of on an incline, and we're working in this area, trying to smooth things out. But if you have a nice flat pad or concrete or something like that, these machines are going to move really easily. I tend to move everything with the tractor. I've got a 3-point hitch on the back, and we've got one of those tractor hitches, and I've got the kind of the tri-ball on it, the 1 7/8, the 2, and the 2 5/16 on the back of that. And I also have the hook on it, just so anything I'm getting into in the woods, I can move any of our stuff here. I don't have to back a truck up to it. I just back up the tractor, boom, hooked up, and we're good to go. tip of my fingers were is 8 feet essentially. It's like 7'11" or something like that. So you can see just how high this 24 actually goes up. So I'm gonna back my dump truck under it and we're gonna start running. Nice things about our job is we get to do cleanup jobs, and the wood I'm splitting right now was from a really big leader off of an old hard maple, or a sugar maple as it's otherwise known, and that makes really great firewood. Now this stuff's been cut for only 2 or 3 months. It will not be good to burn this coming winter. It needs to sit and season for a whole year, and this way we can split it and load it right in the truck as you see us do it. Well, now, there you have it, folks. Our first time running the Wolfe Ridge FC24, Firewood Conveyor 24. At least I'm assuming that's what the FC means. Very happy with it. I'll end up doing a review on the conveyor here, probably in a couple months once we actually get some time in on it. So you can kind of see how big of a difference that conveyor makes. I'm not chucking it up into the truck. It's dropping it right in the truck for me. So it's really saving me a lot of wear and tear on my body. So well worth the price tag on these things, in my opinion. So this particular model sells for right around $9,000. I know you can go there and pick it up. You can go to their dealers and pick it up. So the shipping is pretty expensive. It's somewhere in the area of $1,500 if it gets delivered from their factory to my house. So we went to the dealer and picked it up, who gets them by the truckload, and our share of the shipping for that is $600. So that's a really big savings, and it keeps us from driving, 18 hours out to the factory and 18 hours back. So it was well worth the trip today. We had about 7 hours on the road, a couple hours getting it set up, and we've already got a video produced tonight. So thanks for watching, Elmendorf Acres. This again is our review on the Wolfe Ridge Splitter and the channel debut of our Firewood Conveyor from Wolfe Ridge. So again, big shout out to Chris Wolfe, Ben, Wolfgang. Those are the three of you guys that I've met. I know there's a lot more people that work there. And hello to all of you. Thank you for making an awesome product. Really, really happy with it. And please be sure to like, share, and comment away. Comments on these videos is what helps us get more views, and it helps the channel grow. So if you can subscribe and comment, it really helps a lot. The least that you can do is hit that thumbs up button, and that helps push our videos out there as well. So again, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.